All right, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use state and the this keyword inside of a class component. I'm not going to go super in depth with a bunch of state management and whatnot. I'm basically just going to show you some simple state management within class components. All right. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do, most of the time, is call the constructor method right here. After the constructor method, you're going to want to call super, and after super is where you define this dot state, which is equal to an object. All right. So basically, this is where the constructor and super, that's where you can pass in props and whatnot, which I might get into in another video. But in this dot state, all right, so the this keyword is basically more or less the context in a class component. It is reserved. You can't use this, you can't define this anywhere else because it is a reserved word. So let's just do name, sorry, no, let's do first name, go through an empty string, and then we'll do last name equal to an empty string as well. Okay. Now, underneath the constructor is where we can, and above the render is where we can place all of our functions. All right. All right. So we're just going to do something simple with this. So I'm just going to do if this dot state dot first name to an empty string. All right. So we're accessing the first name key in the state object, and we access it in the beginning with the this keyword. So it's this dot state dot first name, this dot state, this dot state dot first name. Okay, that's equal to an empty string, and we're going to set the state to a name. Okay, and how you do this is with the set state, this dot set state. All right, which you then invoke, and then you also do curly brackets. Okay. So in here, we can define the value for first name. So I can do first name. We can set that to Bob. All right. So if this dot state dot first name is equal to an empty string, we want to set the state to Bob set the state of first name to Bob. Okay. Now if it's not, we want to set the state to an empty string again. Okay. So if this dot state dot first name equals an empty string, we want to set the state of first name to Bob. Else, or if it's not, we want to set the state to an empty string. Okay. So now we can come down here underneath inside of our div of our class component. We're going to do a p tag name, and then in here we can put our JSX, which is going to be our state. So I'm going to define this dot state dot first name. Okay. This dot state dot first name. And underneath, I'm going to put a button. Click me. In our button, we're going to have an on click event that is coming from this handle click function. Okay. So you also need to use the this keyword for any functions you have. So we're going to do this dot handle click. Okay. So now we can see we have name and our click me button. So if I click this, it should set the state to Bob. And then if I click it again, it should set it to an empty string. All right. Click it, sets it to Bob. Click it again, it's an empty string. All right. You can see that we're setting the state dynamically with our handle click function. So yeah, that's basically just some simple state management inside of a class component in React. if you can get familiar with this keyword using this dot state and basically this everywhere throughout your class component, if you can get familiar with that, then you should be fine in your class components. As we saw, we use the set state method to set the state of the actual keys inside of our state object using this dot set state, and then in our on click, we're also using this dot handle click. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and just comment it down below, and I'll try and get back to it. But yeah, I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy the video.